Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to Challenger Spectate and welcome to something a little bit different, special, whatever you want to say, because normally spectating Challenger, we have done for the past couple of years really, we have been watching mainly EU West players and we've dabbled here or there, but there's always been a request in the background. I've always seen it in the comment sections. Huz, can you spectate Korea? Well, this is number one, I guess, spectating Challenger Korea edition. So we are watching DWG Showmaker, obviously a pro, and is currently rank 1 Korea. So we're also doing this for a couple of reasons, and obviously I looked through who's the rank 1 player, looked through what episodes I could do, and you know there was a number, but I thought Lucian mid was the most interesting because I've been notorious for saying even recently, I personally find it weird when people are taking Lucian mid, or even when Tristana mid was popular, I was like, it's weird, because in game design and champion design, what champions naturally are designed to beat and kill AD carries? Mid laners, a lot of the time. It's mages and assassins, and you're actively taking a Lucian, or a Tristana, or whatever AD carry mid, against the people that are designed technically to kill them. So that was always the weird thing for me. But I grant you, what the effect of Lucian in mid or Lucian top, snowballing. So they should get a lead in the early game because their attack damage and poke is just very high, and then they can snowball their lead. Now let's just quickly pause and just show what's going on. An invade is happening. Now the bad thing for blue team right now, and we won't stay online because the siren from Volibear is going crazy. The Lux support is like abandoned the Jhin, which I will say this right now. I would never have guessed this. Like, if watching a Challenger EUS thing, I don't think I've ever seen that. So the Lux is literally, I'm on my way at level 1. Sorry, Jhin. And then obviously Lucian running straight away there too. Obviously the Cassiopeia knows that there's problems happening, but there we go. So the Lucian doesn't get anything from it. The Lux doesn't get anything other than burning her own flash. Cassiopeia is actually tanking some minions, so goes down a bit in health. But in essence, that 2v2 happened in the jungle, and Kindred died. Questionable invade, potentially. Again, Vladimir is not the strongest level 1, but Volibear, don't underestimate if he can get his double W on you. He's tanky and does decent damage at level 1, so maybe it was a questionable invade. And yeah, so giving a Vlad a free kill in top lane, not bad. Cassiopeia half health, hasn't burnt a health potion yet, and Lucian's just going to go get some deep vision in the jungle. You can also see in the minimap in the bottom right, Volibear is using, you know, his presence now of, hey, Kindred is probably going to go get her red buff, I can steal her blue. What I probably see the Volibear doing is doing that Gromp, maybe basing early instead of ganking, and then getting his blue, so Kindred at least is getting more denied. So one thing you're seeing with this Lucian is very aggressive playstyle. He's standing in front of the majority of his minions most of the time, making his presence known to the Cassio. Like, if you come for this farm, you're going to get auto-attacked once, maybe twice, and then also queued. Do you really want to do this? And that is what, Lucian and AD carries in mid can do. It's, if you look at League of Legends spells, spell damage in general, that's scaling. That's what takes the time, that needs items to do anything. Auto attacks, at level 1, one champion's auto attacks are going to do more than others. So if you have a Cassio that has very slow auto attacks and little auto attacks, Kindred gets caught again. Maybe relatively predictable that they thought, oh, she's going to go get Volibear's blue because he just showed top lane instead of basing, and she does get killed. Lux gets the doubles though, unfortunately not the Jhin or Lucian, but there we go. But yeah, so there is no trading, basically, opportunity that this Cassio can do that would put her level pegging with Lucian right now. Look at the bullying, and Cassio knows, there's nothing, and that is what Lucian mid can do. How do you beat these picks? Yeah. Oh! Ooh, so close. Nice, good idea by the Lucian there. So close to getting the kill. Will Volibear get the kill on Cassio? She is around this area, and she gets away. She does run actually further than probably Volibear thought. Scuttle Crab is going to be contested. The mark of Kindred is spawning on it. It's on it, as you can see. So I would expect Kindred to be around, but she's in mid lane, giving it up level for the first time. So you can notice, by the way, a big bot lane difference so far. Naturally, not surprisingly, that's what happens when a Lux support, or a support in general, isn't with the AD carry at level 1. You're giving up all lane priority, all, help of the wave clearing, And the Lucian obviously is now down over 10 farm. But the same has to be said. Mid lane, the Lucian is up around 10 farm because of his early game presence. Now, Volibear, by the way, got the first crab. Second crab is up. They actually have vision of Kindred here. They know she's here. Lux potentially getting Doe. Again, they're diving a Lux here. And I will say, like, that to me is so surprising. Like, the champions that they've got, none of those are diving champions, you know? But they're just diving. That's aggressive. Now, that's the one thing I will say, and I haven't watched much of the Korean server, so I will, if you want me to, you know, maybe we did obviously that mini-series of champions that Huzzy is scared of. That might make the occasional appearance, and maybe we'll mix it with watching Korea. But if you guys are up for me watching Korean players now, if they are known to be the best, at least in solo queue, throw a like on the video. If we get over, I'd say, you know, 500-600 likes, then I'm like, okay, people really want to watch Korea because everybody's been told they are the best. We will. And obviously worth noting, Worlds isn't that far away, but going off World statistics, if I'm not mistaken, meanwhile, Lucian ding 6 straight away going aggro, both exhaust pop. Janna's in the area though. Enemy, Volibear and Thingy there. Double kill, potentially none for Lucian, unfortunately. Kindred going aggressive, does end up getting the Volibear. Can they get the Kindred? Probably not. But that was a lot. And I'll say one thing that I'm going to, you know, I've noticed already from watching, and obviously this is one game, this might be an outlier. But yeah, so obviously, as I said, like the video if you do want me to just watch Korea and see if there's any different. But as going off Worlds, Korea is technically, the last couple of years, been the 3rd best region in the world, if I'm not mistaken. I think China has won the last 2 Worlds, and then EU has come 2nd, I think. Again, I might be wrong. I don't watch much Pro League anymore. Meanwhile, Poppy gets a kill in Vladimir in top lane. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that might be correct. But I might be wrong. But obviously, yeah, Korea is known as aggressive. I've always heard, oh, dude, the Korean solo queue is very aggressive. And I think we can already say, yeah, our first game, it looks to be. And it's so much like roaming that, like, Lux at level 1 didn't care about bot lane. Lux is mid lane there. Volibear's there. Janna was in mid lane just then. It's like it was just a 3v3 in mid at 7 minutes into the game. That doesn't happen much, you know, in my experience. It's interesting. Really interesting. All right, Cassio level 6 does have her ultimate available. Look, again, Cassio hit 6, gets a bit more confidence herself. And you will, by the way, you know... Oh, she gets a nice ultimate, but doesn't stop the Volibear. Lucian doing a bit of damage. Will the Volibear going down? Wow! Volibear, unfortunately for you, the tower gets him in the end, combining with the Cassiopeia damage, and Lucian doesn't manage to get the kill. But it might force Cassiopeia to go back if she's not careful. So Lucian might... Oh, he's doing the culling, and just gets the kill. Oh, that was close a little bit. You know, if Cass, by the way, had boots, which she can't do, by the way, don't be mistaken, she probably would have got out of that. But reminding people, Cassiopeia as a champion cannot buy boots because of her passive. I'm just saying, if she had the bonus movement speed in the early game, she probably would have been okay there. Lucian roaming up. Killing spree for the Kindred. Lucian might be able to get a killer here. So there's the Poppy. 1 kill any second. Will he fight the Kindred actively? Probably not. Kindred just hit level 6. Lucian is level 8. Kindred's marking the Lucian as a message of like, you want to fight me? Okay. You know, if I win the Kindred now, I will get a mark. Double kill bot lane, which is nice. And even though, you know, the Jhin was behind quite a bit, he's managed to do okay. Lucian in trouble. Will probably go down. Will go down. Kindred ult. She didn't ult. Oh, maybe she didn't have mana. She's pinging there. Like, Poppy's like, why didn't you ult? And she's saying, I didn't have mana to ult. So that's why Lucian managed to get a nice return kill there. But a little bit of a crazy fiesta of a game so far. But it's cool to see. And also, what's interesting is, we've mentioned a few times, does the meta change depending what region you're on? A little bit, you know, some regions value other picks over others. But for the most part, no. Like, you know, everything in this game, like, yeah, they're picks that you'll see in Europe. They're picks that you'll probably see in NA. So for the most part, it's the same champions. It shouldn't be too surprising. You know, there's only so many champions that you can pick from. And obviously, in the higher tiers, we're watching Challenger here and Pro play, that there's pros in this game. They're not purposely going to play weak champs. You know, you can't, in the end of the day. The higher rating you go, the more you're going to get punished for the difference of champion strength. They are giving blue buff to Lucian. Wow, that is very generous. A T1 player, which is, what is SKT1 maybe, is giving up the blue. Big fight happening. Cole going through. Kindred was trying to solo the dragon. Volibear predicting the jump by Kindred. Now Cassiopeia fighting the Lucian. Jumping back into the pit, the Kindred goes down. Cassiopeia probably around here, or does she just go back to mid? She's going back to mid, giving up the dragon. That was a risky dragon take by the Kindred. And they do end up getting it. Lucian was thinking about roaming down. Cassiopeia returned to mid, so Lucian probably is going to miss out a bit of farm on the tower, I would expect. Cassiopeia might try to block the Lucian going to lane. Doesn't look like it, though. So, yeah, overall, a dragon, a kill on Kindred. So, yeah, so far, not bad. But you have to remind people that Lucian really needs to ramp up in like what he has to do here, because eventually a Cassio will 1v1 a Lucian. It's basically inevitable, unless like the Lucian is literally the god mechanics and dodges every Q of Cassio, dodges her ultimate, dodges the W for his dash. Unless he dodges everything, Cass will kind of outscale a Lucian in a 1v1. So it'll be interesting to see what this Lucian can do in more of the mid game to try and kind of get fed. So, you know, it's the ticking time bomb of, oh god, I'm an AD carry mid versus a Cass, that it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. So big fight happening here in top lane. Red team looks to be on the back foot. Lucian coming up actually stops them for the most part. Lucian with the exhaust stops the Volibear dying. And overall, that might be it. Lucian is still looking. He's a bit aggressive, boy. And he's getting a bit chunked. You can see Cassiopeia's damage is just going crazy right now. Lucian with the culling on the back foot of Cassio. She will go down. But you can see if Lucian was taking the damage from Cassio, he nearly died. Or was going to, but she kind of overstepped her mark, gets culled. And obviously, Cassiopeia without flash, she just flashed aggressively. Hasn't got the movement speed yet, because her movement speed ramps up with her passive. It's basically a sitting duck for Lucian. Oh, Poppy now in trouble. Another kill by... Poppy in trouble. Another kill for Lucian. Good Q by the Lux. And once again, look where the Lux support is. And I'd say this is a bit less common, or this is more like EU. It's not completely out of this world for the support to roam at 12 minutes into the game on Europe. It even happens in my games. But obviously, you already have been telling there's a bit of a difference in supports here. Like, the Lux is top lane at 12 minutes. The Janna's isn't. The Janna, I think, roamed once to mid and has been bot lane the whole time. Which, you know, for the most part, is giving this Ashe the farm lead. But arguably not enough of a lead. Like, Jhin got that double kill. But that's what they needed to do. They needed to, you know, when the support isn't in lane, you have to punish it. They haven't really been punishing it that much. Cassio going for this 1v1 kill. Nearly gets killed. If Volibear wasn't there, I think most of us would agree, Cassiopeia was just about to die. Lucian lifestealing a little bit. Poppy in the area too. And they do get the Cassiopeia. Kindred also on the back, actually aggressive foot, even though she has no mana, looking for this Lux, and she will survive. Poppy roaming, which is a bit interesting to me. And another thing that is interesting, meanwhile, nice play with the Lux combined. Another kill for the Lucian. That is a really big advantage to the Vlad, because his top laner roams, doesn't get anything for the roam, and also dies. Well, look at Vladimir. He's now free farming. He's 30 farm ahead, plus XP gaining advantage too. Really bad situation overall for the top laner, you know, in that. So, Kindred going aggressive, just dies. She didn't have ult. No ultimate available. The Lux did a really nice thing there, was wait for the red buff to see if it would kill Janna, and it did. So now this is what we're seeing. I did mention the Lucian needs to kind of speed up in terms of getting strong, and that's what he's doing. And I would say arguably it's more the enemy team misplaying, that they're kind of just running and giving Lucian kills. He's 8-1-5 now. Insanely high kill participation in this game. Farm, over in farm, 2 levels ahead. Has that damage, you know, he's got that Essence Reaver with the BF sword, and right now the Cassiopeia on the back foot. There's a bit too much of a difference here, especially when Lux is next to the Lucian. Meanwhile, Jhin does go down. It seems Poppy has abandoned top lane, because look where Vladimir is on the minimap. He is at tier 2. He is at tier 2 tower. The farm lead is nearing now double for Vladimir. He's level 10, Poppy's level 9. So again, Poppy is about to die again. By the looks of it, she does. Red buff once again for Lucian gets the kill, which is crazy. And there we go. So Vladimir, trust me, this Vladimir must have the biggest smile on his face. It's like, you guys are giving me a free lane as a Vladimir? Okay, I'll take it. Like, some people say, oh, the Vladimir's not getting involved. Hell no. He doesn't need to. His team is winning because you've got a Lucian in the mid game now kind of taking over. You're a Vladimir. You're all about scaling anyway. Yeah, just be patient. It's great. All right, Janna going down. Exhausted the Lucian. Doesn't matter. Volibear got the kill that time. Gold-wise, we'll take a note. Lucian has over 3,000 gold in his back pocket. He should definitely go back and use that. It'll be interesting to see what item he goes. With another BF sword, he is going to go. Cassio actually gets the kill on Vladimir, and he gets an Infinity Edge. But yeah, there's Cassio, by the way, with, at the time, components. She has no completed item, beating the Vlad. Maybe that's a bit of, like, cockiness from the Vlad, or kind of not understanding, but, you know, when he hasn't fought anybody for the last few minutes, maybe he's overestimating how strong he is, because he hasn't fought anybody. It's hard to judge how strong you are when you're not actively in active combat for like 5 minutes. You've just been farming minions. Ashe, meanwhile, maybe an overstay. She's maybe going to go aggressive because she is dead. I think she realized it. And I will also just make the point clear in the replay file. Why are these weird character like here? Korean, obviously, font. My League of Legends game doesn't have Korean fonts, I guess, installed, or the language installed. Therefore, we see weird stuff. I will also just tell you guys who is in this game, if I can. Just so if you recognize... Okay, for the names I can. Some are actually in Korean. Okay, never mind. Of the names that you guys can see, that's what I can see here in the list. Everything else is in Korean. And I don't even know where to start pronouncing things. Like, no idea how you take a Korean symbol and translate that into a sound. I don't know Korean at all, so yeah, boom, nice kill. Lux gets the kill on Cassio, and what you've noticed, by the way, the Lux is kind of becoming more of a support for the Lucian rather than the Jhin. Shouldn't be too surprising. Kindred on the back foot now got her ultimate up that time, but yeah, time to say goodbye, Kindred, unfortunately for you. She will try to get away, but it's not going to happen. The crit from Lucian is too high, having his double crit items already. You know, we're 17 minutes into the game here, and Lucian is, what you'd say, is popping off. So, the early game, he went fine for Lucian, don't get me wrong, but as we said, you know, he had to try and do something, because Cassiopeia will eventually become a bit scary, but probably not anymore. The Lucian is 12-1, he's taking over, he's roaming around, you know, he hasn't just stayed in mid lane, he's walked around here or there, with still maintaining the highest farm in the game. And this is how you carry, you know, especially from mid. Ashe, questionable. Does look to try and fight him. Crit's happening. Does get the kill on the Kindred once again. Ashe going aggressive, which I would say is questionable. Even though Lucian is very low health, he is so far ahead. Gets that triple kill, making himself 15-1. But the one thing I will say, the other thing I have heard about the Korean server. Nice kill. Oh, Lucian does go down, though, to the Ashe, actually, in the end. To the tower. I have heard it's very much a server that if they think a game is over, they will just stop playing, practically. And, you know, feel free if you know more in this area than I, feel free in the comments to let me know. But what I've heard is the reasoning, or main reasoning for it, is Korean culture, and maybe Asian culture, I'm not really sure. It's rare to have a PC at home, apparently. So a lot of them either do a lot of mobile gaming, that's why it's really popular over there. What's happening there? Or you go to internet cafes, or PC bangs, I think they call them, and you play there. But obviously it costs money to play at those internet cafes, or whatever, you know, they call them. And so if a game is legit over, it's like, why am I paying money to be at this facility, this internet cafe, when the game is over? Let's just surrender, or open, or whatever, go next. Apparently that's quite common. But this game, you know, blue team hasn't given up, so we will continue to see what happens. 15-7, though, is the Lucian. Got another crit item and another, so he's... Oh, that damage. Look at that crit. So, yeah, he's got his RFC for increased range. There it is. You know, surrender 5 at 90 minutes. And also another crit there. So, 90 minutes in the game. They're grouping up mid. People get caught. FF5. And there you go. But... that was the first Korean episode of Challenge to Spectate. We also watched a Lucian mid, which, you know, sometimes I do these replays of champions that I may not rate that highly, or pick I don't rate highly, to, like, you know, did I learn anything different from this? You know, has my mind been open to Lucian mid is a fantastic pick? No. It just is what it is. It's not, would you call it a cheese nowadays? I'm not sure. But it's a pick that you have to do well in the early. It's very easy to do well on Lucian mid in the early game against the mage because they have no trading strength against you. But it's up to the Lucian to try and use that early strength to snowball, and that's what this did. So in this instance, it doesn't surprise me at all. That's what the pick is. He did really well in snowballing. Again, not taking away the showmaker guy. He played really well, obviously an insane player. But that's what the pick is. He took over the map at the time of the game that he could. He didn't allow the Cassiopeia to scale and have a good early game. He bullied her, and he also roamed around, and he took over. So that's what Lucian mid can do when someone's playing it really well, same as Tristana. But obviously, the flip side of this coin is when you are in the situation that if, like, the Cassiopeia played like God, farming really well, doesn't get punished that much in the early game, oh snap, Cassiopeia is in mid-game and the Lucian isn't fed, well, then it's a bit of a different story. But this game showed really good snowballing from the Lucian, and it was, awesome to see. But again, if you want more Korean stuff, throw a like on the video. Again, 500-600 likes, and I'll definitely consider doing a lot more of it. And I guess, because we're now on Korea, if there's any Korean pros that you guys are like, you have to watch him. Do we do a Faker episode or something? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully I'll be able to find their accounts. Not too, it shouldn't be that hard, I'd imagine. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. That was Lucian mid. That was Korea solo queue. And that was rank 1 Korea solo queue. I'll see you guys next time anyway. Goodbye.